No, I prepared hard, man. You know, I was ready to fight. I didn't want to waste that training camp. I spend a lot of time away from my family when I'm training too, so I really didn't want to waste that. So, and then the questions of what next? You know, like, do I take 2 weeks off and then start preparing for another 8-week camp? Can my body hold up through another 8-week camp? You know, there are a lot of questions that I just didn't have the answers for, and I was like, you know what, I'd rather just compete now, and if I have a chance to.
Yeah. What about
no hesitancy for me, man. I'm a competitor. I want to compete. If there's an opportunity to compete at something, I'm there. Just tell me when. You know, you want to play some Madden? You want to play NCAA football? Tell me where, and I'll go meet you there. And I'll tell you one thing, I'll beat you, and I'll be cheating to beat you too, because I'm trying to win. So I'm a competitor, man. You know, any opportunity I get to compete. Plus, you know, I wrestled my entire life. You know, you don't know who you're wrestling in the next round. So for me, it's an opportunity to compete. That's what I'm here to do. Not only a chance to get in the cage, but my first time down at 205. I'll get to compete at the weight, something that I was gonna have to do against a former champion in my first time. So I'm kind of a glass half full guy. You know, I want to look at things on the bright side. So whereas it may seem like, oh, this is nothing to gain for him, for me it's like, well, I'm not fighting Rashad Evans. You know, I mean honestly, my first time down at 205, I'm not fighting a guy that's been in the top 5 for the last 7 years. I'm fighting a guy that's just getting here. This guy doesn't know what he's in for. You know, he doesn't know. He hasn't done this. You know, he hasn't made this. He hasn't danced his dance before. And you know, it's consuming, and it overtakes you if you're not used to it. You know what? He was actually, yeah, he was. I would consider him a friend. You know, there's something that ties guys together in the wrestling community. When you spend, I mean, he spent 3.5 months with me on a day-to-day basis preparing, because he was Kerry McCoy's main training partner. So, yeah, I would have considered him a friend. He did a lot to help me. He helped to prepare me, and yeah, he was there. I mean, yeah, I would have considered him. I would consider him a friend. I would have, or at least until after. I don't know what's going to happen after Saturday night, though. I really don't.
Have you guys talked at all?
Not at all.
From the Fox Sports?
Not at all. I haven't spoken to him. I don't want to speak to him. I don't really want to see him until we see each other at the fight.
When was the last time you spoke to him before?
Last time I talked to Pat, Fox Sports Live.
Before the Fox.
Had to be about 2008, 5 years. So I mean, you would think friendships suffer with time, you know, but it's like Mark Munoz and I barely ever talk, and I still consider him a friend. You know, there's something that ties us together, you know. So it's just different now. We're enemies. We have to fight. When I first heard we were gonna fight, I was kind of excited for him. I was like, okay, this is a guy that I knew from back then, and he's finally getting his chance in the UFC. We're gonna just go out there and compete against each other, you know. And then he started talking. And then you guys continued to put microphones in front of him, and he hasn't stopped talking since. So now it's not, well, good for little Patrick. Now it's like, I'm going to beat Patrick's ass.
Aren't you glad he's still in the fight, though?
Yes, I am. Yeah. He's done a great job of that. He's built interest, but he didn't do that alone. I had to get on Fox Sports 1 and yell at him, too.
Did he take it too far, though? Did he legitimately take it too far with the...
Well, there's just certain things that, back then, there were a lot of things going on in my life, and he knew that. So that's why I think that more than anything, those things should have stayed in the wrestling room, even though they always do anyways. But you know what, man? You know, he's doing what he has to do to I mean, I really don't know what he's doing. Because I mean, honestly, it's like, you know, I'm ready to fight Rashad Evans. Rashad Evans is a boxer wrestler. Patrick Cummins is a boxer wrestler. Rashad has been the standard for that style of fighting in the UFC for a long time. Nothing had to change for me. He's going into a fight on 10 days' notice against a guy that's prepared, a guy that's peaked, and he's still talking. Yeah, but he'll talk more and more. You guys keep putting microphones in front of him, I tell you, he'll give you some gold.
Do you think that there's any risk that you might be underestimating him?
No chance, because I prepared for Rashad Evans. If I didn't prepare so thoroughly for the guy I was fighting, then maybe I would lose, you know, maybe I wouldn't be as sharp. But guess what? I can go in there, and because I've trained and I've been so thorough, your body goes on autopilot. It's trained to do what it's supposed to do on Saturday night, regardless of who's standing across the cage from you. So I respect Patrick as a competitor. I know what he did. This guy overcame adversity. He didn't even place in the state tournament in high school. By the time he's done with college, he's a 2-time All-American NCAA finalist. That says something. You see the guy doing gymnastics, he's doing flips. How many of us big guys can do that? So he's got some real ability, and he's a very dangerous guy because he's hungry. But again, I was very thorough in my preparation, and I think that's going to carry me in this fight. Things change fast. I mean, I believe a win over Rashad Evans would have put me in the contention. I could have asked for anything. I mean, I just beat Rashad Evans. That would have been 3 UFC champions on my resume. Win over Patrick Cummins doesn't have that pop. So I understand that there's work to be done, and I'll be there to do it. But things change fast in the sport. Things change fast in this organization. So I just got to stay trained and stay healthy and ready to go. But again, you know, as I always say, this all means nothing if I don't take care of business on Saturday. I lose on Saturday, and then why would anybody want to give me a title shot? Yeah, I just think that it's an uphill battle. You know, somebody told me, well, Kane came to the UFC with 3 fights. He did, but he didn't fight Frank Mir in his first fight in the UFC. Weidman was 5-0. But he didn't fight Anderson Silva. I'm not even calling myself Anderson Silva, just somebody around the top of the division in his first time out. So there's a difference.
Dan, when was the last time you weighed today?
2001. 2001 was the last time. Well, at 206. Right now I'm a little bit heavier, but last time I weighed what I weigh now is 2008. And at this point, what I weigh now, I felt like I was on my deathbed because I was cutting weight so wrong.
How do you feel physically?
I feel great. I mean, I can go fight today. I can make weight today. I can make weight tomorrow if I need to.
And with it,
yes.
and that type of thing?
Yes, I am. But I will be honest with you guys. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. There is a barbecue plan. There is a barbecue plan and a Popeyes run in the future. Guys, I'm gonna tell you one thing. I heard I wasn't fighting on Wednesday and I'm all sad. The only thing that could ever make a Louisiana boy feel better is Popeyes. So I had some. And it freaked out the next day. It was bad. It was horrible. I freaked out completely.
How much did you have?
Dude, I had 4 pieces of chicken and Cajun rice. It was so good. I was like hurting. I was like laying on the ground hurting. I was like, oh, this is so bad. Because I hadn't ate anything like that in so long. It's like so bad. How could it taste so good but be so bad? So I'm just sitting there like, oh my God, my stomach's killing me, like it's hurting me. But then I'm like, but it feels so good. And then Dana called me the next day and said I was fighting. So then I'm sitting there like this, you know? You ever got bad news and you're like, oh my God. I'm just kind of doing this. So then I have to call Tyson, who's doing my nutrition. And he's like, what did you do? So I'm like, bro, I broke a little bit. He's like, what did you do? I go, I ate Popeyes. So he's mad, right? But he's trying to keep it together. So then he's all, well, we just got to get back on it. And because you had so much Popeyes, we got to flush all that bad stuff out of your system. So he made me drink 3 gallons of water to flush it. It was horrible. I was in the bathroom every 10 minutes. But it got it right out of me and I was right back on track. So yes, there is a barbecue plan. And there is a Popeyes run in the near future, probably tomorrow or Sunday. And then, yeah, I'm going to continue to eat like this during the week. And on the weekends, I'll let loose.
How long ago was the Popeyes breakdown?
Dude, that was last Wednesday.
Last Wednesday?
Yeah.
So literally you got the news and you drove straight to
I got the news, bro. I got the news. I got the news. I'm very sad and crying. And I'm all, as I walk in the Popeyes, because I don't want to see them crying. I'm all like wiping off the tears and they're like, can we take your order? And I'm like, yeah, give me some chicken. Like, give me some chicken. Like, I feel bad. Like, you know, I'm not supposed to be here, but so am I crying because I didn't get to fight, or am I crying because I took my ass to Popeyes?
You gotta go drive
both.
in that situation.
You know it's bad too, because people say San Jose, it has no drive-thru. So the lady's like, wait a minute, didn't you just lose your fight? I'm like, just give my chicken and leave me alone. I'm like, just give me the chicken, don't talk to me. You know, I'm like, don't look at me. Don't look at me. I'm disgusted.